Hi, I'm Ron James. Welcome to another edition of the Sedona Scene. This week we have some amazingly special guests, Sri Ram Ka and Kira Ra. They are authors of the new book, 2012 Atlantean Revelations. You guys, thank you so much for being here.
No, it's our pleasure to be here, Ron. Thank you for having us.
Now, you've got a really incredible story, a very interesting background. Can you just tell us briefly how you guys came to where you're at before we talk about where you're at?
Well, I love that we're in Sedona to talk about that.
Because we actually met for the first time face-to-face right here in Sedona.
However, we are an internet success story. We did meet on the web.
You met on the web?
We literally met on the web.
Was that like angelic oracle seeking wisdom teacher kind of thing?
Yeah, it was a classified ad.
Yeah.
No, I'm being facetious. I think all of us that are yearning for our other half, our soul partner, have realized that the world is a lot bigger than it used to be. And the web is an effective way to reach out and find what you're looking for.
And actually, we met on the web pre-angelic oracle and wisdom teacher, believe me. It was one of those things where I received this email from Sri Ramka. I didn't even know I was part of this web service. A girlfriend had actually registered me on it.
Oh, I bet that was a surprise.
It was a complete surprise.
I'll never forget.
It did work for Sri. She called me up and said, "Now, if you don't like what I've said about you, you better change your profile." I'm like, "What have you done?" And I get this beautiful email from this man, and it says, "Escalator to expansion." And what happened, Ron, was I absolutely had this moment of terror and panic, because deep down inside of me, I knew that if I even answered this email, I could no longer fake anything in my life. I was going to have to really start walking my walk 24/7. And so the way we met, for me, was an ultimate terror.
Sometimes those gut feeling moments of terror and panic really indicate that you're about to take a major turn in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's well said indeed.
Yeah.
I think all of us, we want the best for ourselves. And sometimes when we're confronted with the highest truth, it scares us to death. Because it means no more faking it. It means we've got to live up to that which we claim we want to be.
It's that, oh my gosh, everything I ever wanted's in front of me.
It's a really interesting thing. It's a challenge for everybody trying to take the spiritual path is actually really, really getting down to the nuts and bolts and living it every day.
Yes.
Yeah, when we stop talking about it and when we live it 24/7, everything shifts.
And that's when the universe really starts to play hardball too sometimes.
Well, it'll conspire to support you.
Yes.
And we sometimes don't realize, or I love to share with people, the greatest gift in the world is we're all on a need-to-know basis. Because truly, if Sri Ranka and I had fully known what we were saying yes to, I don't know that I would have. And so it's a gift to be on that need-to-know basis.
What we're seeing is that we're getting better and better at understanding what we're here to do. Truly the path of self-ascension, which is what we teach, is about living authentically.
Yeah.
It's about aligning our consciousness with the essence of that which you really are, which is a soul, which is a core energy that is divine and limitless. And people talk about the higher self and the lower self, and they talk about living from soul versus ego, but that's all talk.
Yeah.
When we truly line up, that's where the expansion is.
So some of the topics that you're covering in your book are really advanced stuff. I mean, there's a movement on the planet towards higher consciousness, and people are at different levels of understanding, and you guys are like way beyond Soul 101. Tell us a little bit about how you got there and what the thrust of the teachings is.
Isn't that a great question?
That's beautiful.
That is such a great question, and I love that you asked that question, because one of the first pages in our current book, 2012 Atlantean Revelations, was brought forth from our editor, who after she read the book called us up and was like, "I am so angry." And I'm like, "Whoa, Angela, what's up?" She goes, "Kira, you guys have pushed every button in my life. You've made me stretch. I can't handle it. I'm freaking out." She goes, "You guys need a book. You need a page in this book that prepares people for this book." And this is our third book. And we wanted each one of our books so far to stand alone, yet have this gift of being able to tie each one together. So just in case you haven't read any of the others, you can pick up this one. And in your question, the response that the archangelic realm is invoking for you to hear in this moment is that everyone is being called to the level of consciousness and receptivity that is comfortable for them. And so whatever level anyone is at, whether it is, as you said so well, Soul 101 or Soul Infinite, they will find in this book an opening and a recognition that will help them become more balanced in the times that we're living in right now and understand them.
You know, one of the concepts we introduced in this book, and we actually brought it out in our last book, 2012, You Have a Choice, released last year, but we developed a little further in this book. It's called the Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening.
Yes.
And so often among metaphysical types, they say, oh, you know, my family's so asleep, you know, my friends are awake, you know, or he or she is or isn't awake. And what we've come to discern is everyone's awake. Everyone is awake to some level of understanding, and we're all growing.
Yes.
So everyone's awake, everyone's expanding and growing, and in that growth, new information comes. You know, the Sufis say that your level of attainment is your veil. We can't see beyond our own knowing, and therefore it's wonderful to have people along the way that are holding the light.
Yes.
You go, oh, okay, I want to know what they know. Oh, I want to understand what they understand. And so we help each other.
Yes.
So you've been focusing on 2012, and there's so many people speculating about 2012. What's going to happen? You know, is reality going to split into two different versions? Is the whole planet going to disintegrate? Is the human race going to ascend? Are all of these things going to happen? None of these things going to happen?
Right.
And so, you know, what's you guys' take?
You opened up the show asking how we got together. If anyone would have said that Shri and I were going to be out there ensouling the archangelic realm, talking about 2012, bringing forth the path of self-ascension, I would have been like, what bar have you been in and how much have you had, you know? And so I want to share a story with you, and this story comes from 1965. And it's the opening chapter of our current book, Atlantean Revelations, and it was at Sri Ramka's urging that we included this. But I was born very, very clairvoyant and very open. And in 1965, I'm this little girl, and I'm standing at a screen door at our home, and it's summer, very much like it is right now, and it's really, really humid. And I'm standing at the screen door, and I'm seeing all these bugs go by me, and I'm seeing my mother's rose bushes because they were so beautiful, and I'm actually really looking at the Japanese beetles because I thought they were so pretty to look at. And everything's in vivid color, and it's hot, and I'm just standing there, this little 5-year-old girl, when everything went black and white. Everything went black and white. And I was suddenly standing there, and I'm this little child, and I'm wanting to scream for my mother, and I'm so paralyzed I can't. And everything in front of me is like this gray patina, this black and white, and I start hearing what I interpreted as thunder, because I'm a child, and I didn't know what it was, and it was this loud thunder. And I look over in the distance, and I start seeing this cloud coming up. And I don't know what it is. I just know that it's loud and it's scary, and I'm so scared, and I keep trying to scream my mother's name and nothing would come out of me because I'm so paralyzed. Well, it turned out to be this huge mushroom cloud, and it came out over the distance. And then as I'm watching that one come up and I'm feeling this fear and I'm hearing this horrible noise, another one came up, and another one came up, and another one came up. And there were 4 total that came up. And I remember, it's hard for me to tell the story, and I remember standing there, and all I could do at that point was say, oh my God, I've made a terrible mistake. Please take me back. I can't do it. I can't do it. And this beautiful, comforting voice, and it's such a vivid memory for me, said to me, you will not be here. And this is but one possibility for this world, and the year is 2012. And I was 5 years old when I had that profound vision.